the things I had to do while I was building this was I kept reminding myself that this is the back of the building. This is the quote, the railroad side of the building. So it's nothing fancy, completely plain, plain as it can get. And so during construction and during the planning, I had to keep reminding myself of that. No fancy details, no fancy stuff. That's all out in the front of the building. So this had to remain plain Jane. And that's the way it is. And I guess that's really the way it looks too. It does look plain Jane. Okay, so I've decided to finally start on the first of the backdrop buildings. This is the building that's going to be the hotel restaurant that goes pretty much directly behind the transfer station on the layout. It started out as a piece of two pieces of styrene, 80,000 styrene, glued to several pieces of plywood. This is 7-ply plywood. This is really good stuff. And then a 1/4-inch masonite to add a little bit of thickness. Now the plywood started out as this stuff, and I got this at Hobby Lobby, and it's basically looks like it's got pre-cut keyholes, so it looks like it's something that craftspeople would paint something on, or attach something, glue something, do whatever, and then be able to mount it on the wall, hang it on the wall. But it's really good, stable, sturdy. It's fairly flat, but there's just a slight warp going across this way. So I decided rather than using the whole piece, just to use strips. So I cut 4 1/2-inch wide strips to use the 3 on the legs down and the sides and center, and then the one along the top. And then, of course, the 1/4-inch masonite glued on there. Once I got all that stuff attached, I then drilled out for a small magnet and glued the magnet in. And then on the backdrop, I got a small number 6 flathead screw. Found the position where I wanted this, measured up, and screwed the flathead screw into the backdrop. So now when I position this up against the wall, up against the backdrop, this holds it in place. Won't come down. It doesn't. It's not hard to bring it down, but it won't fall down on its own. That's the important thing. It's not going to fall over. So once I got that done, I measured out for the doors and windows that I want. I'm using a double door with a transom up there for the main entrance, or it's the back entrance actually to the restaurant and hotel. Then a door that's over in the what I call the kitchen area, and then a small window for the kitchen area. Now I cut them out, measured them up, cut them out, and got them all positioned and cleaned up fairly well. And then I added the brick sheet. Now the brick sheet is from JTT. Looks like that on the front. JTT. And it is brick 2-pack HO scale, item number 97422. And I like working with this. This is the same material I used on the transfer shed. Just that I painted the transfer shed. This I'll keep the raw brickwork, or the brickwork. I'm not going to paint it. So I'll be doing some weathering and texturing and stuff on that, on this. So then once I got this glued down, and since they're both plastic, I was able to use, in this case I used this Plastruck Bonding Styrene ABS plastic solvent cement. And I started off, I worked from one side, so I got this glued down and set in place. And then worked my way across, adding some of this. Actually, instead of using the brush here, I use this because it's running low, so I dip this down in there and I spread a lot, and then put it down, and then lift up a little bit and spread a lot. Got it down. And then I was able to have some weep in on the sides and bottoms and stuff. Then I flipped it over and used an X-Acto knife, cut out the brick to match these. Then cleaned it all up. And since this is a window for brickwork. It sets on top of the white styrene part and into the brick, so it sits like that. That'll look pretty good like that. And this does have a bit of a side piece to it, or kind of like a flange to it. So this will set like that. When I'm not recording, it goes right in. Nope, upside down, that's why. Okay, it'll go in like that. And then this door goes like that. And so we have first floor. Now, in my mind, this is the entrance, rear entrance to the restaurant and hotel, double doors. Then I'll have some kind of a wall or a fence, probably a wooden fence coming out this way and then down this way to block the what I'm calling the kitchen area and back door, the service area, away from the front end, or the main entrance, rear entrance. So there'll be a fence coming here, down this way, and probably a bunch of trash cans and a bunch of other stuff sitting here, crates and whatever. But so that's floor number one. And then probably what I'll do is I'll add a piece of this trim. This is 40 thou by 156, number 147, flat strip. I'll add something like this here as part of, coming up for second floor, and there'll be brick, another one of these, brick, another one of these, and so on up the building. And then I'll have corner edge pieces here. So that's what I've got so far. First floor. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue working floor by floor rather than trying to do one solid sheet and then cut it all out. I'm not going to do that. So this is easier to work with, just gluing down one little section at a time, making sure I get it all straight, lined up the way I want it, and going. So the next step will be to measure it out, and I'll probably have 3 windows across on each of the floors. So I'll measure it out where I want the next 3 windows, and then cut them out and move on up. So we'll see you in the next step. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the brick pieces laid down. I laid them down in sections and laid down like a floor marker for each one of the floors. And I get that all done. Windows cut out. And this is the centerpiece. And again, behind here is the center support. So when I drilled in, I hit wood, obviously. So I painted those black. I'll probably have try and simulate window shades or window curtains in the hotel rooms, because this is the hotel. So I probably won't be seeing that anyway, but I just painted it black just in case. So let's start off with doors. I do not know the Tichy Trains number of this door. I lost the paperwork for that. This is the 2-pane masonry window. That number 8107. The double hung door frame and the double doors, they're in masonry with transom, 8190. Then all of the masonry double hung 6x6 double hung windows for the rest of the windows here are the 6x6 double hung masonry windows, 8308. And then the vents at the top of the building. Vents at the top of the building are this Blair line fans and vents. And I've used these on several other things, but these are the vents, and they come with a self-stick stuff. And right now I just got them stuck together there. And again, they're just laid in place. Everything's just laid in place right now. The windows and stuff, they're laid in place, not glued yet. Among the plastic, the styrene stuff, I used the brickwork. I think I talked about that last time. For some of the work here, I used 20 thou by 156 material, probably up in here toward the top. I used well, that's number 127. Number 122, 20 thou by 40 thou. That's this bottom edge here and this top header here. The let's see here. Other pieces, 40 thou by 100. I think that's probably up these headers, or something close to it. The angle pieces on the corners of the building here are number 293, 100 thou angle. And then I think this is the this section's here, the what I call the floor indicators, the floor pieces. 40 thou by 156, number 147. Put it in frame here, 147. And then up at the top piece here is 80 by 80 thou square, number 164. And I have on order some other pieces, other square pieces that I'll probably put right along the top edge of each of these floor markers. Put that on there. And so that's the basic building now. It's all done. Sides. I got a top, vents, side. So it's again, this is I'll probably have a sign over in here. This is the back entrance to the building, so it's not going to be as fancy as the front entrance, but fancy enough. There are 4 floors to the building, obviously, and so next we'll be trying to figure out how to paint this. Now I know that I need to put some sort of a cover coat over this plastic to start off with, and then I'll do some individual brickwork, and then the grout or the masonry stuff. Fill in the joint lines, and so I got to figure out how I'm going to do that. How I'm going to mask everything off and do it. I think the what is white plastic now will probably end up either an off-white or a light gray color for all of that, and then of course brick, and do multicolored brick painting in here. We'll see how that goes. That's what I'll be working on next. Okay, a huge jump forward. As you can see, it's already painted and gone over. It's pretty much what I'm calling done right at this point. I do need to add a sign right here, but I'm just not ready to do that right now. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do here. So, but I do need to probably put some sort of a sign here. One of the things too is in the last section I talked about, I was waiting for some pieces to put along here, the top of what I'm calling the floor indicators, the floor pieces, and I finally got those parts in. And what I used was 40 thou by 40 thou, number 142 square, and I put those on each of the top edge of each of these floor markers, just to give it a little bit more dimension, a little bit more shape to it, so it's just not flat. I've got the doors in, the windows in. Now, one of the other things I did, and this is my problem, this is why I don't like this building right now. I really don't like this building, and it's all because of the window treatment. It was bugging me. As in the last thing I told you, I painted black behind here, so I wasn't sure if anything would be showing through. I wasn't sure how I'd be doing these, and I'm not going to light this building up. None of my buildings are going to be lit up right now, as far as I can foresee. So I needed to do something, and I thought some sort of window treatment. And so what I did is I decided that curtains would probably be the best. This is a hotel; they'll have curtains, and so I went looking for different ways of doing curtains, and online I found a bunch of different places where they make, they offer curtains, but they're done white or gray, and they have the curtain shape, but they just didn't seem right to me. So what I did was my usual self. I was looking around my wife's stuff, and as I said, she is a crafts person. She does just about everything. And one of the things she does is a lot of paper stuff, scrapbooking and card making and stuff like that. And one of the things that they have that she has is it's a booklet, and it's called the Paper Studio, and it's a booklet filled with these different patterns. And it's the shapes are this size, and they're perfect for doing cards or scrapbooking or whatever. But this is the front cover, and this cover is used to tell the person what's inside. So inside here is a full card that looks like this. Another full card that looks like this, a set of them. And I thought this was perfect sizing for me to make curtains from. So that's what I did, is I made curtains using those. And we'll zoom in here, see if we can see. Those are the curtains. And quite frankly, they suck. I really do not like them. I think the idea was good. I think it's my execution. I just didn't do a great job of it. And so right now I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to just let it go. Everybody I've shown it to says, "Oh, look, curtains." And I go, "Yeah, but," and they go, "Curtains." So anyway, the vents are in, everything's glued in, everything's set in place. The way I did the curtains here is I laid in a 40,000 piece of styrene, and then laid the curtain material, this cardboard material, on top of that and glued it in place on these. Then on the back, I got some scrap 60 thousandths and scrap, I think it's 20 thousandths material, and so those are holding the curtains in place. You can see that the tabs there, so that's holding the curtains in place. And then for fun, I taped a piece of paper across here with a tile floor, just for fun, just to do something. I've got to do something here later on, but not now. I'm tired of this building. I am really tired of this building. So the other thing I did in painting it, let's talk about that. In painting it, what I did was I added a whole bunch of different colored bricks in here, and I used several different colors. I used this raw sienna. I used this barnwood. I used heritage brick and a few bricks done in burnt umber. And you can see them scattered out throughout here. Then I did a wash. I washed this with more of the heritage brick to give it more of the brick color and tone that down, that plastic look, that original color for the sheets of the brick sheets. So put more of this on there, and it was a wash, just washed it over it, and so tone that other red down. Then I took wicker white and did kind of a wash with it also, but I didn't do as much. I did a little bit of wiping off, so you can see as I wiped off a bunch of it. So I left this in the grout lines, the brick lines, the grout, and some places I took it off heavily, and some places I left it, and so that's what I did there. Nothing fancy. There's probably a 1,000 videos out on how they paint brick walls and stuff. As for the colors of the trim, this gray is, I think it's sky gray, XF19. That's all this light gray stuff. The darker gray, the header pieces for this, and the windows are dark gray, XF24. And then you can't tell it very much. You can't tell that there's a difference, but this door and this door are, where is it? Field blue, XF50. And then after all of that, and after all me fiddling around, before I put the windows on, and before I put the doors in, I gave it a spray of Tester's matte finish dull coat, and dulled it all up. Then put the windows, curtains, and doors on, and that's it. As I said, I'm calling it done. I'm not thrilled with it, especially the curtains, but I just want to step back away from it and say that's it for a little while. I'll work on making a sign, and I'll probably do something for some detail up on the roof. I'm not sure what yet, but I'll probably do something there. And I may do some more slight weathering. Again, this is in a clean part of town. This area on the layout is the clean part of the layout. So I don't want this to be too weathered or too dirty looking. It's got to be nice and fresh. So I'll go from there. All right, let's see what I've got going on next. Okay, so there we are. It's done, in place. You can see the fence to the side of it there. I'm going to be building another fence that comes out probably from the center of the building here and out toward the curb, and then follow the curb out and along to separate the hotel, and there'll be an apartment building next to that. Separate them from the railroad tracks. That'll be another project here soon. But so this one is done. I'm glad. I don't want to do this again. I don't like that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for having patience and waiting for this to come out. I know a bunch of people were asking, where is it? When's it coming out? Here it is. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you got anything that help me make improvements to this, I'd really like to hear from you. For those of you that are interested in subscribing, subscribe. It's free. Thank you very much again. And see you all next time. Bye.